Hey everybody, David the AI Guide here. Welcome to another episode. Thanks so much for tuning in. Be sure to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and Twitter. Also, we are resuming lives next Sunday, May 22nd, 2022. At 5 p.m. we'll go live. And then on Wednesday, we will be doing a video like this one. So check it out. We'll have lots of great stuff to talk about. And let's go on and dive in. So I was rereading an interview that Tony Robbins did with Peter Diamandis, or Diamandis, depending. I'm not sure how Peter pronounces it, but I've heard it pronounced both ways. So he was talking to Peter about AI. And this was a very, very interesting interview, even though it's a little bit old now. And the topics are still highly relevant and are commented on a lot by my most active followers. So let's dive right into it. So Tony says to Peter, and I will have to read a few snippets because there's a lot of stuff in this and I can't do it all from memory like usual, but Tony says, most of us know technology is displacing jobs. If you look back 100 or 200 years ago, 80% of people were farmers. 100 years ago, that was true. Now, only 3% of people in the United States are farmers. So this process has been going on ever since the dawn of the Industrial Revolution, when people first started their dramatic shift from subsistence farming to working in factories and stuff like that. But it's very interesting. This was not the first major technological shift in human society. The first one is much older, like 10,000 years ago, where humans were nomadic hunter-gatherers, meaning we just gathered up what we could find and hunted what was around, to being settled in a place for a length of time because of agriculture. So agriculture was the first revolution, then the Industrial Revolution, then the computer revolution was number 3, and we are now in the midst of the 4th revolution, or some might even say 5th, with the 4th being the internet. And maybe that's more accurate to say that the internet really changed everything from pre-internet days, and now AI and the converging exponential technologies that are also affiliated with AI, like 3D printing and robotics, are about to completely change the future. So as we continue, Tony asked Peter, is technology really displacing jobs, or are they being replaced and new jobs being created? And so Peter goes on to say what we've talked about a lot. The stats we've seen is that 40, 50, 60% of jobs in the United States and an even bigger percentage overseas, we're talking 80, 90% of jobs in the developing world, will be lost. Staggering numbers, and the direct reason why I started the AI Guide. I've been in computers for many years now, but when I went to the Applied Artificial Intelligence Conference in San Francisco in 2018, that was a major eye-opener, listening to people from Facebook and Google talk. The question is, are we going to partner with AI and robotics, or will they replace us? And then they get into a very, very interesting discussion that's highly relevant to why I started the AI Guide. And they talk about there's two extremes of people, right? There's on one far end, all technology is good. It will fix everything, all of our problems. And on the other end, it's going to cause total anarchy. I think it's safe to say, as the Buddha said, that the middle way is best. And that's probably the way things will play out, is that both will be true. Technology will improve many things, but technology will also cause many problems. And then Peter goes on to talk about something related to this subject that we've talked about multiple times, where he says, Ray Kurzweil, with whom Peter is very good friends, and together they started Singularity University. Ray's prediction, by the way, Ray has a more than 90% accuracy rate on predictions made 30 years ago. So when he says something is going to happen, it's very wise to listen to this man. Same with Peter Diamandis. So Ray's prediction is that in the early 2030s, we will be connecting our neocortex to the cloud, and we can spin up 1 million times more memory and processing power than we have right now. We've talked many, many times that humans will be connected directly to computers in the future. But then, one of Tony's big things is helping people find their mission in life, their passion, what they're really interested in. So they have a brief discussion about work, which means I do something to make a living and I don't really like it, versus career, which I do this to make a living, but I believe I am creating something or advancing society. And then mission, which is what all of us probably would aspire for. I can certainly say that. That mission is where it's at, right? Because then you're doing something that you believe will help change the world. So they have that discussion. And Tony says, I think the opportunity that technology brings is freeing up those repetitive tasks that do not require you to really grow and expand as a human being. The question is the bridge. If we have a massive disruption and it happens too quickly, what do you think of universal basic income? Tony asked Peter. And Peter's reply is fascinating. I think we're going to have to separate the idea of I work to make income versus I work because I love it. And I work because it's fun versus I work because it's my mission. UBI is about working for income. And Peter then goes on to say, I think we are demonetizing the cost of living, and most people don't realize it. Everything is getting cheaper. Cars are going to get much, much cheaper because you won't own one. You will use a fully automated robotic taxi at shared cost with other people. And it's going to be much cheaper than owning a car when you include gas, tires, insurance, repairs. Both major and minor cars are super expensive. Then he goes on to say electricity is coming down from 7 cents a kilowatt hour with coal it's already down to 4 cents a kilowatt hour when it's natural gas generated, at least before this recent energy spike caused by the war in Ukraine. And then Peter believes that electricity will eventually cost a penny or less per kilowatt hour based on solar plus battery. We've talked a lot about power and the effect of AI on power and decentralizing the grid, so we're not going to spend much time on that one right now. But Peter goes on to say, there's no question when you talk to folks like Elon Musk, Larry Page of Google, Richard Branson, and Jeff Bezos, they've all bought into the idea of UBI. There's a reason for that. And so the discussion continues, but it really becomes a discussion about your cost of living being alive, food, a place to stay, transportation, it's healthcare, education, all that's taken care of so that you can really focus on doing what you're meant to do instead of what you have to do. A very, very compelling view of that kind of a future was done on Star Trek, right? For anyone who ever watched Star Trek, you know, especially Next Generation, that they talked about the fact that there was no money anymore, that people didn't have to work for a living, that they did what they're supposed to be doing, whether it's writing, art, making something. Captain Picard's brother had a vineyard and grew grapes and made wine, whatever it is. But he did not make wine to sell to make money. He did it for the joy of it. But then Peter Diamandis has one more very interesting comment. He said, imagine the idea of universal basic ownership. So he says, imagine you're a Uber driver today and you get paid to drive. So in the future, maybe you will own the Uber and make money from that instead of doing the actual driving, but you can own the fully automated vehicle. Very interesting discussion. You can find it on www.a360.digital, which is Peter Diamandis' platform. Fascinating interview, but it brings up all the core issues we've talked about. Displacement, rapid displacement, universal basic income, finding your passion and doing something that really helps humanity, whether it is nursing, a substantial part of which will still be hands-on, or certain things doctors do will still be hands-on, or plumbers and electricians. It's going to take a very long time to automate that, even though, check the last video, 3D printing breakthrough. 3D printers can already build an entire house, but they cannot do the plumbing and wiring, but that may be coming now. So who knows? My point is the future is going to be so radically different that it's difficult to project, especially as to timing, and difficult to even get the picture in your head of how completely different the world is about to be in the next 20 years. So this is virtually everyone watching this. This is in your lifetime, and for many of you, it's early in your lifetime that this massive transformation is going to happen. So we're here to help. We're here to help you learn more about AI, which you will start using at work very, very shortly to do your job. Click the link below, free resource. Everything in the resource is free. If you get the resource and you go through the process, you will be offered the chance to participate in my new beta course, the AI Safe Career Pivot, to get you into a job that will be AI safe much longer than what you may be doing right now. And I want to emphasize again, even though they don't talk about it, it is certain that AI is going to disrupt quote unquote white collar jobs as well. Much of law practice will be taken over by AIs. Quite a bit of medicine will be taken over by AIs. And down the road, not for a while, but on down the road, many other things that are currently done by white-collar people will be fully automated. So it may hit independent contractors or blue-collar jobs first, but right after that, it's going to hit the white-collar jobs. And it'll be a different story in this country when professionals start to lose their jobs to artificial intelligence. So interesting stuff, great interview, check it out. Thanks so much for tuning in. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter. Happy Wednesday, and we'll see you on Sunday for the live at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. Thanks so much. Take care, and God bless. Bye.